Lee being a good martial artist, an actor, in terms of his skills, his strength, his incredible speed and power, his power punch, which is mostly external. But what else can we know about Bruce Lee? You know, after his death, there's only one interview coverage of his mother and his brother Robert Lee, describing what kind of person Bruce Lee really is. Coming right up. As many of us know, Bruce Lee was first taught by Ip Man, a good, well-respected Wing Chun-style martial art instructor. But first, what motivates Bruce Lee to learn and practice martial arts? Let's hear from his brother first, from his brother Robert Lee.
Why did Bruce get into Kung Fu and the martial arts?
Well, Bruce kind of grew up as a violent kid, and he was always involved in fights and things like that. And one day he and his buddy was in a restaurant eating, and after the meal they came out and they were surrounded by a rival gang somehow. So they got into a fight, and luckily at that point in time we had a driver at home that drive them to school and things like that. And he came in the right time, right place, and the gang seeing the car approaching, they just fled, and that sort of more or less saved Bruce in a way. So after that, Bruce decided that he should protect himself in a better way, any way he can, really. So he talked to his friends, and at that point in time, Wing Chun was the in thing. Wing Chun is a system of martial arts, Chinese Kung Fu, that believes in economy, straight punches and things like that. And to him, at that point, was the most logical approach for protection. So he decided to talk to this old gentleman by the name of Ip Man, who later became his instructor.
And how old was he then?
He was about 13, 14, around that age.
When did he start in the movies? That's
When he was 6 years old.
just 6 years old.
Yeah, he started
He was making movies in Hong Kong,
in Hong Kong.
but obviously they weren't these kind of Kung Fu movies because he didn't learn until he was 13. So what kind of movies were they?
He used to play like a rascal.
Like the Little Rascals, the
Yeah.
American Little Rascals? I know he was Kato in the old Green Hornet series on American TV. How do you feel about the fact, Robert, that he kind of eliminated the old Oriental Asian stereotype in American movies and TV? You know, the Charlie Chan, Fu Manchu, insidious kind of weak person who was always doing evil things. Yeah?
I'm glad you asked that question, because all along in his life, Bruce had been watching the tube and films and things, and seeing the Chinese stereotype that you were talking about. And he said, if I ever have the chance to go up on this film like that on stage, I would never portray something like that. He said that's really a disgrace to the Chinese culture. And he said, Lord help me, let me bring the Chinese, in equality with all the other races. And I'm glad that he did that.
Why do you think he was so successful? Why do you think that he managed so dramatically and eloquently to portray Chinese people as something other than they had been portrayed, particularly by American filmmakers in the past? Why did he make it so big?
Okay, my dad, I don't know if you know about this. He was involved in Cantonese opera for a long time, at least 40 years. And he was one of the best in China, so you can say that Bruce grew up in a show business family. And that's one aspect. The other one is that he has really a dynamic personality, and he can really project that personality in front of the screen or in front of people. And the third thing is that he is very sincere in what he's doing, and that really is the most important aspect as far as I can see. Because, I don't know, it's something that is in all of us that know him or see him through the film. I feel his presence all the time with me. When I'm maybe playing my guitar or singing or walking down the street, whatever, he's always with me. And I guess it goes true with everybody that knows him.
he's a very nice person, my son. You know, he always help people, you know, that need him, you know, and he's kind of when somebody wants to, you know, like Robert, my son, you know, his brother. If anybody try to bully him or anything like that, you know, you can never do anything to, you know, our family. He always protects. He's a very nice son.
He was married himself, wasn't he?
Yes, in the United States in Seattle.
Did he have any kids?
Yes, he has two. A son named Brandon and a daughter, Shannon.
Is the son a martial artist?
Oh yes, he can kick inch board when he's 5 years old.
Really? He could
Yes.
shatter it?
Yeah, Bruce would hold it like that, you know, and he'd say,
Yeah.
come on, Brandon, do something, you know. So Brandon would, okay, Daddy, and Bruce said, come on.
Yeah,
He was with the killing instinct, and you know, he would just run right to the sideboard. I mean, to the board, kick it with a side kick, and just break it.
Bruce Lee's family being in the show business since childhood, his dynamic personality, and his sincerity, according to his brother, are the key factors that brought tremendous success to Bruce Lee's career. That his old movies were still being watched even up to this day. But for me, most importantly, is his personality, being a good person, according to his mom's description, is for me the most important to remember, because when people, especially the young generation, when they start to idolize someone, they also start to live according to their idol's lifestyle. And this is very crucial in the martial art world. We are mostly known in terms of how good we are in our skills, kicking, punching, incredible strength, speed, power. But not so many people know that martial arts can make us a better person. The respect, integrity, perseverance, discipline, humility, focus in all the traditional values that is actually declining in today's martial arts can help us to not only be successful into whatever endeavor we do in life, but to be a better person and citizen in the society. In our class, we don't just teach our students the technical side of martial arts, but most importantly, the values that they carry on as they go along with the challenges and ups and downs of their life. We also teach them how to serve the community by doing some service activities for the public.